morning, everybody, and welcome to another round of coffee and questions. And today's topic we're going to talk about is these socket holders from out at Harbor Freight. I had a friend, like I told you before, he's like a Harbor Freight freak, loves to buy stuff, likes to get things when there's a good bargain. And I was telling him, hey, look, I read through the reviews on these socket holders. You don't want to buy them. We can go over all the reasons here in a few minutes. But he wanted to try them anyway, and I said, okay, well, look, I'll ride along with you. I was going to get a couple magnetic trays anyway. So I went out there and we went to where these are located and we started going through them. And I think I found flaws in every single one that we picked up. So he decided, okay, well, maybe I won't get those. Maybe I'll get the metal ones. And I told him they have a lot of the same problems from everything I've read. So don't do that either. And so specifically, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tell you about the problems that people run into. And then I'll tell you something that I think is better to buy. Now, I always talk about things that I've actually bought and held in my hand and used. So sometimes if I don't, I'll let you know. Now, this is not a product that I bought, nor would I. They just fall apart. They just break on you very easily. Now, Harbor Freight has a lot of really good products, and I buy them. This happens not to be one of them, though. To start off with, the plastic is very weak and it's soft. So all of these uprights will break off on you very easily. Without any tension on them at all. So that's the first thing. And the second thing I noticed when I was out there, some of those trays, even the pieces were already broke. So eventually I'm sure they'll remove them from the shelf, but that tells you how fragile these things can be. And the other thing is that you want to be aware of, the sockets will fit in here very loosely. So even if you decide you're going to use these, you don't want to move these around very much because all the sockets will fall out of the tray. Then everything becomes disorganized again, which was the reason why, I would want to buy one in the first place, is to keep things organized and not find them, thrown all over inside of one of the trays in my tool chest. There was a comment here I'm reading on the forum where we were discussing this, where somebody said, well, it's got that holder there at the top, and you can always hang them up. Well, that's what it's meant for, but if you try to do that, all the sockets are just going to fall off because they don't stay on there secure at all. And one other thing you want to take into consideration, I showed him when I picked up one of these trays while we're out there, one of the remarks that's made very frequently in the forum here as I'm reading is the pegs that stick up, they're so close together, you have to be careful of what kinds of sockets you're trying to put over these pegs. So for me, I don't want to go through that. I want to be able to put what I want in there when I want to put them in there without worrying about whether or not they'll fit next to each other. So it's another consideration to think about before you buy these. Now, the other thing I didn't like about these, if you take a look at this, when you combine these and you put them in a drawer in your toolbox, it eats up a lot of room. That's another thing I didn't like. My tool chest, especially when it comes to sockets and things like that, that space is very valuable to me because I have a lot of tools now that I've collected and I want to put them in there. These eat up a lot of that area, and that's another reason why I just don't think that this is a good buy, even at this $10 price. So to make it really easy, in summary, this is just a very poor design. The numbers aren't even right on some of them. That's something else that somebody complained about, but after you use sockets for a while, or if you're a technician or mechanic, you're probably not actually looking at the number system anyway. You know what to grab and what to use. So, but the nice thing is you want to be able to grab the tray, pick it up, and carry it with you, out to a car or something. You're not going to do that with these, even though the design makes it look like you can. Those sockets will fly all over the place. So, like I said, I just think it's poorly designed. I wouldn't waste your money on it. So we're going to move on here in a minute. I'll change the picture and then I'll make a couple of comments and then we'll go on to something I think that I know that works a hell of a lot better. But give me just a sec. Okay, here's a picture taken off of the web. It shows you a close-up of these trays and of those posts and how they're marked and everything else. So this just gives you a close-up view. Again, it's not what I would tell you to pick. Okay, now here's a picture of the metal ones, and somebody on the forum said, well, these are a much better selection than over the plastic ones, and they take up less room in the toolbox. Yeah, those comments are true, but these are also very cheaply made. They're going to fall off on you. Yeah, you can move the little metal pegs for different size sockets and stuff. I agree with all of the positive comments, but these are very cheaply made too. They're flimsy. You hold them in your hand with sockets on them, you can see them bend. I mean, not a big deal as long as they're holding them, but other people have mentioned they've had to take the clips off, rebend them so that the sockets fit on there tighter. And other people say they fit on there too tight and you're really having to pull and jerk them apart. And then the clips come off with them, and then you got to get pliers to get the clips out. And there's all these different issues, and this is another probably not well designed, but look, it's 99 cents, so it's cheap. And if it is something that you really don't want to spend a lot of money on, you can go ahead and get these and play around with them and probably get them to at least do something adequate for you. But it's not my top choice. So let me move on and let's discuss some other possibilities. Here, now take a look at this before I change the picture. I blew up the customer review part on Harbor Freight's site. The 5 stars are 176 and 1 stars are 104. So now we all know people write reviews, for these things to kind of pump up the products, but this is really bad. I mean, if you take a look at this, and that's just the 1 star, 104. You got the 2 star and the 3 star, and they'll tell you how they've had to bend and play around with them to get them to work correctly and all of the things that we mentioned. So this right here is proof that this is really not your best selection, but if you want to tinker with it and play with it, and it's something that will work for you, at least temporarily, I suppose, for $1, you could try it. Okay, let's move on and talk about something that will actually work much better. Okay, one more picture before we change topics and I show you something that works better. You take a look at this. This is a picture I pulled off of the web. The guy's having a hell of a time. He had to pull these clips off. He had to rebend them and all this stuff, so he took a picture of it on his workbench. I don't want to go through all that. Now, if I happen to have these, or I got them for free or thereabouts, or if I needed them that desperately, yeah, I suppose you could take the clips off. You could start rebending them with a screwdriver or some kind of a little round bar or something and play around until you get that size, where the sockets are fitting on there perfectly, then put them back on the tray. I just don't want to go through all that, but it is doable. Okay, these are ones that I got from a vendor at a little bit of a discount, so I decided to try them. They're made by Ulsa Tools. They are made out of aluminum. They're not steel, but they're very well made. The sockets, those posts, are adjustable. The end caps are made of a soft plastic. They come off real easy. They come in a variety of colors for you to choose from. Yes, they are more expensive, but they are well worth it in terms of their construction and their quality. And I've had really good luck with these. You get, on the 3-piece set, you get 1/4 inch, 3/8, and 1/2 inch. They have a little ball bearing on them. I'm going to show you here. I'm going to explode the picture and show you what I mean by the construction. Okay, here's a close-up view over here on the right of what these trays actually look like. You can see they're made out of a thick plastic with a ball bearing in there. So the sockets actually kind of click on, click off. There's no stubbornness about pulling them off or forcing them off. I mean, it's a very well-made product. I favor these. You can take the end caps off that you see just above me in the picture. They're soft rubber, and you can slide, these clips on and off if you have real thick, sockets or any adjustments you want to make to them. I find these to be about the best ones I've used. I'm sure that there's others. Drop it in the comment below if you have other suggestions. But this is mine, and I'll leave a link below where you can go. They make different variations, and you can choose from them. Okay, so now I've changed the slide. I've showed you here in the upper right. This is how strong they are. They're not like those cheaply made racks that we were talking about from Harbor Freight. You can turn these upside down, carry them around to your car or back. They're not going to all drop off of there, and they're not going to slop around. And the spacers, where the posts are, you can adjust to whatever size your sockets are. So, like I said, this is something I own. This is something I believe in. I'm sure there's other good manufacturers out there, but Ulsa is definitely one of them, and I'm speaking from experience on both of these. So, I'm the Home Handyman. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you got something out of it. And you can just spend the extra money. Yes, it's going to cost you probably double, be in the $20 range compared to 3 for $10. But you're getting a hell of a lot better, quality in terms of socket organizing holders. So click subscribe, drop me a comment, let me know if there's something else out there that you think is equally as good. I'll see you on the next video, and thank you folks for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.